As we aspire to a gender-equal world, all stakeholders must play their part to achieve Sustainable Development Goal number 5. The Women's Empowerment Principles are grounded in partnerships, inviting the private sector to adopt 7 principles to empower women.
The need for gender equality, it has never been more prominent. There is a vast change that is taking place, not only in the workplace, but in our different communities, the general marketplace, and all over the world. And as a business that is run with over 80% of women in senior capacity, which is what Nations Incorporated emits, we saw the need to stand in solidarity with the United Nations to do what we can to ensure that equality reaches others.
We have had success stories for female employees as equal as our male. We are an equal opportunity employer, and so the principles of WEP aligns perfectly with the way PGS operates. So we saw it as just a step forward and making things official, right? When I spoke to the representative from the UN and the things that she said that the 7 principles of WEP,
it really resonated.
It really resonated with us as a company, how we perform. And when we did our gap analysis, it spoke well in terms of the score that we got.
We do know that domestic violence has severe effects, traumatic effects that is, and it's detrimental to your physical, emotion, and mental well-being. In terms of workplace, how it affects your workplace, that is, there's a loss of productivity, loss of progression in terms of how you're able to move up in different positions within the organization, leads to anxiety, loss of self-esteem, and general workplace instability.
There definitely have been various types of incidents over the years, everything from physical to emotional to even financial abuse, and in our experience, it's also, again, not been something that has been isolated with one gender or the other. It is something that impacts both levels, whether it is as the perpetrator, and then that person has to take time off to go and deal with a court case, or as the victim who is traumatized can't come to work, So in that regard, we deal with both the impact on our delivery of service from people having to take time out as a result of domestic violence, but also the ongoing impact of if an individual within your company is having difficulties at home, they're not performing at their best, you're not getting a fully productive employee.
We are in the process of finalizing our gender action plan, and once that is approved, we are eager to start implementing it. We also wanted to expose our staff to training to recognize when persons might have had gender-based violence, especially for our work. Our work takes us in a lot of rural areas where men and women might not be exposed to the type of support we have here on the coast.
The fact is that we have had issues in the past. We have worked with local NGOs to assist their professionals, and with a Domestic Policy Act, it helps us to stay ahead of or be proactive rather than wait until things happen to be a reactive agent. The way PGS stayed in business for 40 years is because we are a proactive company. And so we don't only want to be that in the business arena, but also in the welfare of our employees. So we feel with the Domestic Violence Act, it will also give people a comfort that there is an environment there that they can come, relate stuff to you, a trusted area, and we can able to offer assistance in whatever way we can, whether it be in-house or we have to outsource.
Indeed, the private sector does play a pivotal role. I would say that let us all stand together and to stand as a whole. If you see something is wrong, let's stand up and help that person that is actually facing that discrimination or being in some way being in terms of having a home, in terms of having violence, because this affects them not only in terms of being able to be productive, it affects their mental health, and it will cause increase of suicide. It will cause in terms of creating more violence in the society. So as part of the private sector, I'd say let's stand together, let us help everyone who is facing this, and to help to educate and help to show that there is a way out, and once we stand together we will be able to eradicate it out of society.
Too often domestic violence is not spoken about. We all know it's there, but we don't acknowledge it, and we hide our heads in the sand. By acknowledging it, educating ourselves about it, and finding ways of helping our staff cope and deal with these issues, then we can all improve ourselves as companies, we can become better members of the business community, and then in turn help the country as a whole develop and achieve its full potential.
If we're going to develop as a nation, then we have to have sort of all hands on deck, and that includes men and women.